everybody, and welcome back to another video. So I've got one of the new frag tanks up and running. I plumbed it over the weekend, so I am really stoked to have one of these coast-to-coast custom aquarium frag tanks installed and ready to rock and roll. Just a reminder, this is a 50-gallon frag tank. It is a custom made with Euro bracing, an external overflow box, and it measures 48 inches long by 24 inches wide by 10 inches tall. So it is all plumbed into the 187-gallon display tank, along with this other coast-to-coast custom aquariums 75-gallon frag tank. And so if you've been following along on my videos, I had a bit of a mishap with the 50-gallon lowboy frag tank I was using in this spot. So I had to scramble and move everything out of that lowboy into this 75-gallon frag tank. So on a temporary basis, I had another lowboy in this spot, which I used to replace the leaking one for 6 weeks or so. So now I have another coast-to-coast custom aquariums frag tank ready for the new 225-gallon Peninsula display system. And this probably won't get wet for a while, but it's just really awesome to have the the high quality frag tanks in place of what I was using before. I've said this before on my channel and videos. In terms of quality, you get what you pay for, and I did pay the price in terms of the cheaper frag tanks. So just it's nice over the long term to be able to have that peace of mind. So Patrick, the tank builder, advised me, or at least suggested, let's say suggested, that we could do the overflow box and the return line kind of like right next to one another. So I've always had my tanks with an overflow box. Well, at least on this frag tank, it was on the opposite end. I had the return line all set up on the opposite end of the external overflow box. But for these tanks, they are really they're next to one another, and I like the way this is going to work out. I mean, so far so good, but the way I have it designed here in terms of the layout, what I'm planning to do is in the left front quarter put an MP40, and that will provide additional flow. But you could already see that I got a lot of flow cranking out in this tank as it is. So what I'm doing is I've got this Royal Exclusive Dreambox, and I've got 2 return pumps in there. So one of the return pumps is I did some plumbing work. So about I don't know, a couple months ago, I added in, well, I redid the plumbing. Let's just say that I redid the plumbing. So these are 2 100-watt Red Dragon 3 pumps that I have on this Dreambox that are feeding the 187-gallon display, plus this frag tank now and that frag tank. And you can see that the flow is cranking pretty good on the 75-gallon as well as on the 50-gallon frag tank here. So this is really working out well. I've got the valve throttled part of the way back, so part of the flow is going to that 50-gallon frag tank, and part is going into the display tank. But I'm really digging the way that this is all designed in terms of having the overflow, external overflow, and the return pump next to one another with an MP40 on the left-hand side. So this will give me the necessary flow that I like and need for SPS. But just some nice finishing touches here. The C2C Custom Aquariums logos on the bottom of the bottom seam here, on the Euro bracing. Gotta dig the ReefBum logo. Thank you, Patrick, man. That was a nice touch once again. So again, overall, just very happy that I decided to go once again with Coast to Coast Custom Aquariums. Patrick just delivers on the times that he promises, and he actually accelerated the timeline for me since I was in such a pinch. And he is a master craftsman. I've said this before. He is the only guy that works on these tanks, so you know what you're getting. It's no assembly line of of folks working on the tanks, and it's just consistent, good quality. So one additional point about Euro bracing and why I think it's so really very important on a frag tank, especially one that you want to have a lot of flow in with SPS, is that it just prevents salt creep, and it also prevents water from splashing over the edge of the tank. With the 50-gallon low boy that I had going, I was getting a lot of salt creep over the edge of that tank. So the Euro bracing is just really a nice way to kind of contain that salt creep, and also to allow you to crank up the flow in these tanks, which is something that's just very, very important for SPS. Another thing I want to mention is that this is 1/2 inch glass, so this is really built like a tank, rock solid. The 50-gallon low boys were 1/4 inch glass, and I'll tell you, when you're kind of tightening down the bulkheads on the on any tank that's a 1/4 inch glass, it just does not feel that solid. So this has got, you know, when you're using 1/2 inch glass, that's just a much more solid setup for a frag tank, and a tank you know, of this size, which is 50 gallons. Another really cool feature that I want to point out here, which I've got in all of Patrick's tanks, is that Patrick provides these lids for the external overflow boxes. So it's a great way to, you know, keep any of the splash from kind of getting outside of that area, contain, you know, salt creep. And another cool thing what Patrick did for these two frag tanks is he did a double layer of glass for the lid with some black silicone in between, and what that will hopefully do is prevent, you know, any algae from entering the external overflow box. Well, that'll do it for this video. One last thing that is pretty cool. Reach out to Coast Custom Aquariums and mention ReefBum to get a 25% discount on the exact same 50-gallon frag tank that I will be using, which is 48 inches long by 24 inches wide by 10 inches tall. It also has Euro bracing, and you can get either an external or internal overflow box. This offer is good until the end of the year. Anyway, stay safe and be well.